Horns up and welcome to the final episode of Indian Food Week here on Headbanger's Kitchen. Unless you are not tired of eating Indian food and you want more Indian recipes. If that is the case, my friends, you better let me know. Leave me a comment below and tell me if you want me to still continue with Indian Food Week, which is almost Indian Food Month now. But let me know in the comments and let's get on with today's recipe. Today I'm going to be cooking up a recipe that has a special place in my heart. It was something I ate in my college canteen when I was in college for the brief period, and it's a dish that is so versatile. It's basically keema. Now keema means minced meat, but in India we make a spiced minced meat, and in Bombay at least it's generally served with a pav. A pav is a local kind of bread, and keema pav is like, it's amazing. If you've eaten it in Bombay, you know what I'm talking about. And it has so many variations. If you put egg in it, it becomes keema gotala, and you can chop up like other things and put into it. And it's basically the Indian version of chili con carne, and it is just, I'm kind of out of words on like how I want to describe this dish to you. But today we're going to be cooking up a delicious Keto Kheema recipe, and it's going to have some cream and some cheese, and we're going to take it to the next level, and that is the keto level. Anyway, enough jibber jabber from me. Let's go and make that delicious keema. So to make our keema pav, the first thing we're going to do is get our saucepan, wok or frying pan on the stove. I'm using a wok, and we're going to heat up 3 whole tablespoons of desi ghee. If you don't have ghee, which is clarified butter, you can use olive oil, you can use bacon fat, you can use lard, you can use even coconut oil if you want. Once the ghee is nice and hot, I'm going to add in about 80 grams of onions, finely chopped onions. And oh yeah, you want to deep fry those onions in that ghee or whatever cooking fat you're using. But yes, you want to cook it on a medium flame, and you want to keep stirring those onions because you don't want them to burn. You want them to evenly caramelize and become nice and brown. We call this bhunawing the keema. Well, actually there's no keema right now, but it's bhunawing the onions. Anyway, once the onions start to turn translucent, I'm going to add in some cumin seeds, about a teaspoon. And of course, give it all a good mix. And thus begins the long process of cooking this keema. So make sure you keep stirring those onions, let them cook. You want to cook them till they start to get some color on them. You can even cook it till it becomes like completely caramelized. It's totally up to you, whatever is your preference. Anyway, once the onions have some color on them, we're going to add in our keema. I'm using mutton keema. Hey folks, I don't know which part of the world you are from, but in India, mutton means goat, and this dish is best using goat meat. Of course, if you don't get goat where you live, you can use lamb, you can use chicken, turkey, beef, whatever suits your fancy. Now you want to stir around that keema, and you want to basically break up the meat into little bits. You don't want it to lump up and stick together, so you got to keep working the meat. Keep stirring it, keep breaking it up with the back of the spoon. Be aggressive with it. Make sure you break up all that keema like a bad bar fight. So anyway, keep bhunawing that keema, stir it around. And once you manage to break up most of it, it'll obviously start to release its juices. And now it's time to add in the other stuff. So I'm first going to add a teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, about 100 grams of freshly chopped up tomato. I'm also going to add in my seasoning, some salt, some turmeric powder, some red chili powder, some coriander powder, and some garam masala powder. And then of course, give it all a good mix. Now of course, if you don't want to use tomato pieces and you want to just puree the tomato and use it, that's absolutely fine. I was going for a more rustic keema, so that's why I have let it be the way it is. So yeah, I've not messed with the keema at all. I mean, I've kept the tomato integrity, And now basically what you want to do is you want to cook this low and slow over a long period of time. So we're going to add some water in as well. And then all you got to do is stir it around and let it cook for a long time. Of course, you constantly have to open the pan, stir everything around, close the pan again, then again check it after 5 minutes, open the pan, stir everything around again. Now if you don't want it to be very saucy, you add some water in and again you give it a good mix and again you cover the lid and you repeat the process till the meat is cooked to perfection. Anyway, after about 15 minutes of cooking this keema, I am now going to add in about 50 grams of cheese. Oh yeah! So I'm using some lovely mature cheddar cheese, and you can use any cheese that you like. If you don't like cheese, you can completely skip the cheese. It is not a requirement. But make sure you give it all a good mix and let that cheese melt into the keema. And you're literally making like a cheesy, saucy keema. Anyway, once that cheese is mixed in nicely, now I'm going to add 100 grams of heavy whipping cream. Again, this is a very optional ingredient. I'm using this to make it more rich, more fatty. And of course, make sure you're giving it all a good mix. And of course, you want to let the cream cook out a bit so all those flavors are infused together. And once this comes up to a bit of a simmer, you want to turn off the heat and you want to finish it with a lot of fresh coriander, because that is how we Indians like to do it. This is how we do it with coriander. This is how we do it with coriander. And there it is, my friends. Our keema is ready. Our delicious keto keema. Anyway, time to taste, my friends. Not taste my friends, I mean just taste the keema. Seriously. Don't taste your friends, taste the keema. Alright folks, it's time to taste. And like I told you, normally keema is eaten with bread pav. Now since we're on keto, bread is a no-no, but you can enjoy this with a lovely keto bread with almond flour or coconut flour. I have recipes for both. You can click here and watch them. Or you can even make a keto naan and eat it with this. Click here for the recipe. But if you're like me, you can just enjoy it with a spoon. But before you enjoy it, always take the little lime actually, and just squeeze a little lime over the top. It just adds a little zing to the keema pav. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, time to taste. Amazing. I know I am acting like a crazy man, but this is heaven on a plate. Cause ooh baby, na 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 na, we'll make keema. Oh, that's cut. That was terrible. But you get the idea. It's delicious. It's masaledar, as we say in India. It's creamy, it's rich, and it hits all the macros. I'm pretty sure of that. Anyway, I hope you guys are going to make this keema. And like I said, this is the most versatile dish. You can chop up some spinach and put it in this for some spinach keema. You can put in an egg and mix it around. You can chop some mushrooms. You can put some green bell peppers. You can put pretty much anything. And right now I'm going to put my face in the keema, or rather put the keema in my face. And I will see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Cheers and keep cooking. And honestly guys, if you can find mutton where you live, make this with mutton. I kid you not. It's like a match made in heaven. Mutton keema is the keema. Anyway, enjoy.